Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case.
Dati hindi Anglican po, he's very Latino. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Is that correct?
That's literally not true.
All right. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. I'm back. I'm a tiny bit late. I apologize. We're going to not miss anything. We're going to go back and catch what we just missed. And we'll be caught up in just a second. So give me just a second to get all that set up. Welcome back. I'm sorry I got a little bit busy. I was telling Mrs. R.A. about this trial. It's exciting. It's exciting. There's a lot going on. All right. Give me just a second. We're like 2 minutes ahead. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm late. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. Just like the rabbit. All right, here we go. All right.
But I was advised before we took a break that y'all had some preliminary matter that you thought would be relatively straightforward to take up before we got started. What is that matter?
The state is intending to enter in a copy of a letter allegedly from Melissa to her mom.
Yes.
And yesterday was the first time I've ever seen this letter.
Okay.
What?
Yesterday is the first time I ever knew about this letter.
What?
So I have several problems with it. Number one, of course, it's 807 material. It was never noticed, and we've not had an opportunity to discuss whether it qualifies under 807. Second of all, I would object under the best evidence rule. This is a copy. That's a copy as far as I know. You have the original?
Actually, I can't tell if this is. I think this is a copy.
So we don't even know if the original exists or if it doesn't. So those would be my problems with it.
Okay. Mr. Fawcett, so I believe I had already ruled, in fact, I know I've already ruled that Melissa's statements to her family members were going to be admissible under residual hearsay. And so this is, to me, not a hearsay issue, but more a best evidence or a late notice issue relative to you.
Did I misunderstand your original ruling? I thought it was to specific statements of Melissa's and not just a blanket open door, because I don't know if we're allowed to do that under 807.
Well, I mean, I was specifically talking about, I think it was 3 statements, 1 from Tina and 2 from Norma. But general ruling was that statements that were made to her family members about this topic. I haven't seen that letter. I don't know what it says. As I understand it, the issue is more that it was not timely produced to you. So let's start there. Mr. Fawcett, when did you obtain this information or know that it existed?
I believe we met with the family. I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and those letters were brought up at that point. And it was my understanding at that time that the paralegal that brought them over would have them served. I did not check into it past that, so when we found out that it had not been done, I had the letters brought over and given to the defense counsel. I want to say the stack, if I was estimating, somewhere around 50, 60 pages, maybe a third of that were letters and cards. What I did last night, yesterday I separated out 3 or 4 cards and 1 letter, and I copied those and gave that to the defense counsel. I don't think there's an objection to the cards, but the letters in particular, and why I think it wasn't something I was even looking at initially until we get to the point where we're hearing some of the questions from the defense in the opening statement. And I think that the letter in particular speaks directly to the relationship between Melissa and her mother. It also speaks directly to Melissa's intent to keep her children, which I think is a theme of the defense in this case. She is specifically talking about, Kimberly Cambrone, Mr. Wolfenbarger's sister, Miss Kathy Wolfenbarger's daughter, and the discussion between Kathy Wolfenbarger and Kimberly Cambrone when Melissa was present. She's basically stating that we are having an argument about I want to keep my kids, and she's basically giving her mother the impression of the statement that Miss Wolfenbarger is trying to invade on her as a mother. Essentially, is what the letter is saying. I'm paraphrasing the letter, but that's what I'm getting from the letter. I think it's pertinent. I think it's relevant, especially opening statements aren't evidence, but that is the opening statement of the defense. Those are the questions that have been asked throughout the trial, and I think it's relevant because it sheds light on what Melissa's mind state was at the time of her death, her relationship with her mother, and her intent to keep her children and stay in her children's lives. And that was the intent.
I'm sorry, to keep her children and what?
Keep her children and stay in her children's lives.
Okay.
And so that's the intent of introducing this letter, to show that to the jury.
Okay. Mr. McDermott?
I'm not going to disagree that some of those themes come up.
Yes, sir.
I haven't had an opportunity really to pore over this closely, which is also part of the problem of getting late discovery. Let me say this. First of all, it's about, if you knew 2 weeks ago, we should have got it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to address that, and I.
But let me add on to that. I know that the batch of cards existed as far back as Detective Shepard's interview of Norma in 2021. Okay. At that time,
we're talking about like birthday cards, greeting
Yes.
cards, things like that. Okay.
Yes. That she had saved.
Just one moment. Off the record, Mr. Samuel, I trust that our county commission is still.
Whoa, off the record for a second. What's up?
Is that a witness?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So there is, we have invoked a rule that requires that all of the witnesses in the case, if you might be called as a witness, that you wait outside until you're called as a witness. So if you'll please step outside, I'd appreciate it. Yes. Thank you, sir.
He was a witness. Thomas was
Okay.
a witness.
Back on the
was
record, there was a
that?
witness who was in the courtroom, and so I requested that he leave, and he did. You were saying, Mr. McDermott.
So I know that the state knew that those cards existed in 2021. They also knew that Norma had certain documents that we didn't have as early as 2021, and I know this from the interviews that were done that recorded. I can presume, I think safely, that this letter was in that batch that early, because it's saying it's part of the material Norma had and then turned over to the state, and she was apparently trying to give it to the Detective Shepard in 2021. So my contention would be that this should have been in the first batch of discovery we ever got. If Mr. Fawcett only learned about it a couple of weeks ago, understandable, still, we should have known at that time.
Okay. So a couple things. One, while it may not be best practice, there's a difference between a witness saying, yes, I have things like that, and then actually providing them to the investigator and or the state following up and saying, can we please have those things? And what I haven't heard so far...
I'm sorry, I'm out of line. Go ahead.
What I haven't heard so far is a representation that those things were actually, maybe they should have been, but that they were actually in the state's possession as far back as when Ms. Patton referenced them. So far what I've heard is that they came into the state's possession 2 weeks ago, which still means you should have had them 2 weeks ago or as soon thereafter as possible.
So
Braxton,
from the interview,
happy
it's
birthday.
very clear that she has the documents in her possession as she's speaking to him and that she's handing them to him to look at and that he's reviewing them. So whether he took some kind of formal possession at the time, I mean, they knew they had it at the time. And they would have had possession, custody, and control at that moment. And the case law is very clear that it was not just the DA's office, but anything in the police's possession and control as well. So,
Mr. Fawcett?
I can't reference the specific portion of the interview he's referring to, but that does not take away from the fact that we did not have possession of these items. That includes APD, that includes our office. I didn't have knowledge of them until you met with Ms. Patton, Patton and Norma Patton, so they certainly were in our possession until 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We're on Zoom just for 2 minutes.
I understand,
or so.
Mr. McDermott, your concerns. I share them regarding the late notice that they were handed to you, but if the information that I've been provided is accurate, then while it should have been given to you 2 weeks ago, I don't know that it's being provided to you now, given that there is clearly some acknowledgement that they exist. As far back as whenever Ms. Patton was interviewed, I don't know that there's a basis to exclude it for that reason, for it having not been more timely provided to the defense in discovery. Beyond that, you had, I haven't seen them. I don't know what they say. Are you also asserting any other objections or efforts to limit their admissibility rather than simply that they were not disclosed timely, which I've already ruled on?
well, I would reiterate the hearsay objection. I mean, and I would also say that this is not best evidence. Show me the original.
Okay. Thank you. Again, I haven't read them. I don't know what they say, but based on the prior rulings that I made regarding the state's effort to admit statements by Melissa Wolfenbarger that were made to her family, specifically sister and mother, and that those statements satisfied the residual hearsay exception. You're right, Mr. McDermott, that the court still needs to address the individual, pieces of evidence, but it does seem as if they fall into that same category. And so for that reason, I believe that the same arguments the state has made regarding residual hearsay would apply here if they are what they've been represented to me to be, which is letters from Melissa to Ms. Patton and or greeting card, birthday wishes, etc. from Melissa Wolfenbarger to Norma Patton. So that's going to be my ruling. Anything else that we need to put on the record regarding that issue, Mr. Fawcett?
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't get the last 5 seconds.
That's okay. I was just saying I'm going to say that it falls into the same foundational category as what you've argued on residual hearsay. And so at least as a general proposition, there may be specific objections, but as a general proposition, I'm not going to exclude them. Do you have any other matters we need to take up?
I don't, Judge.
Mr. McDermott?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I have one issue. I was advised yesterday that we had a juror who needed to leave. He had an appointment at 4. And now it's been pointed out to me that for him to be at that appointment by 4, he needs to leave at like 3. So it's getting a little hairy. I can probably impose for a few minutes, but not much longer. So I'm just giving you a heads up, given that Norma Patton I expect is an important witness. We're going to have to interrupt her testimony and bring her back on Monday unless y'all are going to conclude with her in 45 minutes.
You think you can conclude direct in 45 minutes?
Well, I just don't think that. I don't know.
I mean, either way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to.
Gives you more time to spend with those letters, sir.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
I think that would have been an appropriate remedy, Your Honor.
Okay. So are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are we ready for the... Are we going to quit at 3:15 today? Is that your plan?
Yeah, my plan is to quit as close to 3 as I can because I don't want to...
We only have half an hour.
I don't want to make a juror mad if I can avoid it, right? Unless it's an unreasonable request.
Can we just go ahead and say that we'll get as far into direct as we can and end at the end of direct if it ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, unless he stands up and asks 2 more questions and we're done. But yeah, I don't expect... Nobody expects that's going to happen. So can we have the jury, please, Deputy?
Sure.
Thank you.
And thank you for accommodating me this morning.
It's fine.
Noon time or whatever.
YSL, Young
everybody got lunch. It worked.
Life, right?
You considered my time.
YSL,
I appreciate it.
gang related.
All right, for the jury.
Young Slime Life. Yeah, everyone who wants an early Friday out is celebrating right now. Discovery violations, reason for appeal, not even a reason for sanctions or anything else other than maybe you get a few minute break from the judge.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed your lunch and just a break from the courtroom generally. And we're going to go ahead and get Ms. Patton back on the stand, please.
The audio is going to slow down here in just a moment as we get caught up to the last few seconds or minutes or so that we were behind as I came back a little bit late from lunch. We might not get to all the juicy stuff we wanted to with this witness on the stand. Continuing direct here, so we might have to wait till Monday for all the good stuff. The jury to be just blown away by the scope of this story.
We'll just take a moment to get adjusted. Thank you. And Ms. Patton, I'll just remind you that you were sworn in when you began testifying, and even though we took a break, you continue to be under oath, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Fawcett, you may continue your examination.
Thank you, Judge.
Give me a second. I will change it back to slow speed because it's not going to matter for us. Give me just a minute to make the change. Speed back to normal. Don't want to miss anything during this testimony. So.
This is... Okay. Now, Ms. Patton, I'm going to approach a bench and show you State's Exhibit 27, okay?
Okay.
And actually, Your Honor, at this time, counsel has agreed to allow me to introduce a paper version. This is Exhibit 27. This is a self-authenticating document. It is the July 29th, 1998 request for dismissal of Melissa Wolfenbarger. is a certified document which has been provided to the defense, and I would enter that into evidence at this time.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay. Exhibit 27 is admitted.
Okay. Now, Ms. Patton, you were testifying to the July 29th date, in particular the instance in which the judge allowed Melissa to speak with Christopher. And your testimony is that you were present for that?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
All right. Now, I am publishing State's Exhibit 27. Do you see the document listed, petitioner's dismissal?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that actually the document that Melissa signed requesting the court to dismiss the battery charges against the defendant on that date?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is it your testimony that this happened, this request for dismissal and the signature of Melissa happened after the defendant requested the opportunity to speak? I believe your testimony was alone with her?
I'm confused.
Okay. You recall testifying as to that July 29th date when you were in court with your daughter?
I don't believe I testified.
Well, just before we went to lunch, just today, okay?
Okay.
You remember being in court with your daughter?
I remember being in court, yes.
Do you remember your daughter speaking with the defendant after talking with the judge?
Yes.
And do you recall the case being dismissed after that?
I wasn't clear on the case being dismissed. Okay. All I was really aware of is that I left the courthouse alone. Melissa did not leave the courthouse with me.
Okay. All right. And that was on that 29th date, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. All right. You were talking about that July incident. At any point, did you go either pick Melissa up after that incident occurred?
No, sir.
How did you come into contact with Melissa after that July incident?
I didn't come into contact with Melissa after that July 29th. I turned the kids over to Kathy. Melissa was not with her when I gave the kids to Kathy. And
okay. Now, you talked about seeing Melissa somewhere around 4 or 5 times during the year, on average during the year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would Melissa reach out to you and Carl Patton in the form of either calls or letters?
It was usually just her coming to the house.
What do you mean by that?
Well, she would, I would come home and maybe find pictures or where she had been there and left pictures of the babies.
Okay, all right. And what about birthdays? Okay. Would she reach out to you on your birthdays?
Oh, she always called me on my birthday, the holidays, and mine and her dad's anniversary. She always remembered the dates.
Would she write cards and send you cards as well?
Oh, yes. I got cards all the time.
Now, would she send cards to just you, or would she send them to anyone else?
Well, if it was just my birthday, it would be to me. But when it was an anniversary or something special like Valentine's Day, it would be me and Carl.
Is that what you were referring to when you were talking about, I guess, the differences between, say, Melissa and Tina?
Yes.
Okay. So your testimony is that you got accustomed to receiving a call or letter or card on important days.
Right. Always.
And do you remember a point in time when you stopped seeing or hearing, or when did it become a concern for you?
In September and October of 98, Melissa was in DeKalb County Jail. I found out that she'd been picked up for violation of probation. She was in the DeKalb County Jail, and I went to see her while she was locked up in September and October.
Okay. And so you went to the jail to see her?
Yes.
All right. What condition was she in when you went to the jail to see her?
Melissa's always been a really quiet child, so we just basically, trying to find out what her court date was going to be and that kind of thing. At that time, she asked me told me that she wanted something special for Christmas. And I said, okay, what would you like? And she said, it's not something you can go out and buy, Mom. She says, you don't have to go out and buy it. And I said, okay. And she said, I want a picture of me and Pawpaw.
Okay. Who is Pawpaw?
Pawpaw was Carl's father.
All right.
And he passed away on one of the times that Melissa had run away.
Okay. I see. Okay. Did that have an impact on Melissa?
Yes.
All right. And is that why she wanted that photograph?
Right. And she said that's all she wanted for Christmas.
Okay.
So I went and I found a picture of her and her pawpaw that I liked, and I thought she would like, and I made it into an 8x10, and I wrapped it up to have it to give to her Christmas.
Okay. Did you ever get an opportunity to give that photograph that she asked you for?
Sure.
Did you ever get an opportunity to give Melissa that photograph?
No, I did not, because Christmas 1998, she didn't come. She didn't call.
Okay. Now, Miss Patton, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 69. Let me start from chronological order. 67, 68, 69, and 7. Okay? We can take a look at these exhibits yourself, or if you recognize them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1. Can you take a look at this exhibit and tell the court if you recognize State's Exhibit 1?
Yes, that's my baby girl.
Okay, is it a photograph of her?
Yes, it is.
Is that photograph representative of how Melissa looked at the time of her death?
No, sir.
And why not?
Because this was a photo that we went to Glamour Shots at South Lake Mall.
Okay.
Just me and her.
And how old was Melissa at that time?
This, I think, I'm not sure, was probably 1997. Okay. So she would have been 20.
All right. So that roughly is about a year before she went missing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state will move to tender in evidence State's Exhibit 1.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay, Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Okay. And as to State's Exhibits 67 through 70, are those, in fact, the cards that you received from your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the well, copies of the cards. Are those
Right.
Are those accurate copies of the cards that you received?
Yes.
Your Honor, at the time the state moved to introduce into evidence States Exhibits 67, 68, 69, and 70.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay.
Permission to publish?
7, 68, 69, and 70 are admitted, and yes, you may publish them.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We're going to start publishing States Exhibit 1. And can you tell the court what we're looking at?
That's this photo right here.
Okay. And who is that on that photograph?
Melissa.
And is that who we've been talking about here this morning?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that the same person that ultimately disappeared in December 1998?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to publish States Exhibit 67. And you were testifying as to cards that you would receive from your daughter. Can you tell us what we're looking at that's being published from States Exhibit 67?
It's a card addressed to me that I got for my birthday.
All right. And what's the date indicated on that card? You see that? Do you see the month?
February.
All right. And you see the year that was sent?
Yes, 1997.
Okay, and that appears to be that same year that we had the glamour shots photo in Exhibit 1?
I believe so.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 68. Now, Exhibit 8 is being published now. Can you tell us what we're, Exhibit 68 is being published. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That is anniversary card that Melissa sent to me and her dad.
Okay. And did she also include a written note?
Yes, she did.
Can you read that into the record?
Happy anniversary. This year I'm going to take you out to lunch. My only day off is June 6th. Meet us there at 11:45 to 12 o'clock at Ryan's. You and Dad can bring JC and Kimberly.
Okay. And when we're talking about Dad, is she referring to Carl Patton?
Yes.
And is this a card from just Melissa, or is there anyone else included on this card?
She signed it Melissa, Chrissy, and Joey.
Okay. And who are those persons?
Chrissy is Christina, and Joey is Joseph.
Okay. Those your grandchildren?
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 69. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That's Father's Day card to her dad.
Okay. And can you read into the record the top part of the front of the card on the left?
For a dad who means so much.
All right.
You want me to read the rest of it?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
To know our family can always
I'm going to
depend
scroll
on you.
down to the bottom of States Exhibit 69. And is there anything written at the top corner of that exhibit?
Father's Day.
All right. And who is that addressed to?
Carl Patton.
And who is he?
He is Melissa's dad.
Okay. All right. And last, I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 70. Exhibit 70 is being published. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That is Mother's Day to me.
All right. And is that in 97 as well?
Yes, it is.
All right. I'm going to scroll down to the end of State's Exhibit 70. And do you see a handwritten note from Melissa?
Next Wednesday, May 14th, I would like to take you and Daddy out for lunch. I'll give you your Mother's Day present then.
Okay. Now, so when you're testifying as to the ways that your daughter Melissa would keep in contact with you, is that what you've been talking about? You know, the exhibits represented in 67 and 70.
Yes, sir.
6 through 7. Okay. So we get to December, and you do not hear anything from Melissa.
Right.
When do you start to take action, or when do you start to do something related to that?
I was really upset that I hadn't heard from her, and she didn't call Christmas Day, and she didn't come. So I started worrying immediately. It took me until my birthday to convince her dad that something was wrong.
Okay. So
to my birthday.
Okay. And that would have been around February.
That was February, yes.
2 months for
99.
Dad.
Yes.
All right. What do you do when you start to, and when we get to February, what happens then?
We start trying to find her.
What do you do to try to find her?
I believe after my birthday, we went to Brookline Street in Atlanta to where her and Chris were living. And when we got there, the house was empty. Nobody was living in the house.
All right. And at any point, do you make any attempts to contact law enforcement?
Not right away. I did another month or so, I guess. It actually took me till the whole year of 1999 to be able to convince everybody that something was wrong.
Okay. When you say everybody, who are you trying to talk to?
Just friends and family and...
Okay. Was it... had there ever been a period of time when you had gone without speaking to Melissa? Like you're talking about December to your birthday in February. Had you ever gone that long without talking to her?
No.
Okay.
No. That was the longest time frame that I hadn't talked to her.
All right. What is the first law enforcement agency that you attempted to contact?
Atlanta.
Okay. And did you speak to someone at the Atlanta Police Department?
I did, and they told me.
Well, you can't say what they said. That's fine. Did you go to any other law enforcement agencies?
Yes.
What agency was that?
That would be Henry County.
Okay. So if we're trying to orient, a time frame, and we're in 1999, and this is the year that you're going into the different agencies, can you tell us around what time of year you start with Atlanta Police Department?
It was probably in the spring. It was somewhere around in the springtime.
And how many times do you attempt to make contact with them?
Well, when I contacted them about it, they didn't want to. The person I spoke to, I don't know who it was. They told me because she was married and she was over 18, and she was 21 at the time. So.
Okay. At what point did you go to Henry County?
Henry County, because we talked to a friend of ours and told him that we couldn't find Melissa. and what suggestions he could do to help us find her.
Okay. Did you make any attempts to contact the district attorney's office?
No.
Okay. At any point did you do that?
No.
All right. What other efforts did you do to look for Melissa during that period, in addition to going to different agencies?
Well, when we went to Brookline Street, one of the neighbors told us that Chris was working at the glass company. So we went over there, and Carl went in.
And you can't say what anybody told you. Were you able to locate the defendant at that glass company?
No.
Okay. All right. At any point did you meet with any lead detectives from the Atlanta Police Department after an investigation was open?
I'm confused.
Are you familiar with Detective Calhoun?
Yes.
Who is Detective Calhoun?
He was the name and number that I was given to contact when in 2003 when Melissa was finally identified.
Okay. And at that time, was it your understanding that he was a lead detective on that case?
Yes.
All right. And did you, in fact, contact that detective?
Yes, I did.
All right. And did you provide information and conduct interviews with that detective?
Yes.
All right. And at any point did you conduct any interviews with the medical examiner's office?
When I went and met with Detective Calhoun, he immediately took us to the medical examiner. He took me to the medical examiner's office.
What happened when you went to the medical examiner's office?
They basically took my sample.
What do you mean by that?
A cheek swab.
Okay. All right. So you gave a DNA sample that day?
Yes.
All right. And what was the purpose of that?
To verify that it was Melissa.
Okay. All right. And at any point, you familiar with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
Yes, sir.
Who is Kathy Wolfenbarger?
She is Chris's mother.
Okay. What's your relationship like? And I'm referring you back to that period of time when Melissa was alive. What was your relationship like with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
The few times that I saw Kathy was when she brought Melissa and the babies to my house for Christmas.
Okay. When did you first meet her?
When Melissa and Chris started running away.
Okay. Was that before they were married?
Yes.
All right. And did you ever make any attempts to contact Miss Kathy Wolfenbarger looking for your daughter?
And when we couldn't find Melissa in 1999, I caught Kathy pulling it in her driveway and getting out of the car with the two babies, Christina and Joey.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I pulled in the driveway. She immediately sent the two babies into the house. And when I got out of my car and walked up to her, I asked her where Melissa was.
Okay. All right. Was that successful in locating your daughter, Melissa?
No.
All right. You had previously testified that Melissa would write letters to you.
Yes.
And would Melissa ever give you any insight as to what her life was like with Kathy Wolfenbarger and Kimberly Cambron?
basically that in order for her to get any time with Christina, that she had to get up early in the morning and take the kids before Kathy got up there.
Okay. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 71. Tell the court if you recognize this exhibit.
Yes, sir.
How do you recognize that exhibit?
It's one of the notes that I got home and found on my door.
All right. And do you recognize the handwriting on that exhibit?
Yes, it is Melissa's.
Okay. How are you, well, how many times would you say you'd seen Melissa's handwriting?
Too many to count.
Okay. Is it more than 5?
Yes.
More than 10?
Yes.
And when she would send you the cards, as I've entered in 67 through 70, would she often write in her own handwriting as she did on those exhibits?
Yes.
And are those exhibits representative of what you actually turned over to our office?
Yes.
But in terms of the number, did you provide substantially more cards from your daughter? So there are 4 cards that you were shown?
Yeah.
Have more cards than that?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, okay. And is it your testimony, or are you able to say, based off of your experience viewing Melissa's handwriting, that that is in fact Melissa's handwriting?
Yes.
Depicted on State's Exhibit 71?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time the State moved to tender in evidence, State's Exhibit 71.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
So when was this note placed? This is after she went missing?
To back page on this exhibit.
70, forgive me, I forgot to say, 71 is admitted.
Did Melissa ever write to you and talk about Kathy? Did she ever write to you and talk about Kathy Wolfenbarger?
Yes.
Did she ever write to you and talk about Kathy and her children?
Yes.
Your grandchildren?
Yes.
On State's Exhibit 71, are you able to read her handwriting?
Yes.
Okay, can you start right here and end right here? Just start right there and read that into the record.
But Kimberly and I get along pretty good. Every time she hears her mom say something about me, she sticks up for me and tells me about it. I remember telling that Kathy said that she wishes me and Chris would move away. Kimberly says to her that if we moved, we would take Chrissy with us. Kathy said, no, she won't either.
Hearsay.
And Kimberly, she is their daughter. Then Kathy said, no, she isn't. If someone said that about you, you would get mad. So did I. I told Chris, and Chris got mad. When Kathy asked to take Chrissy off, Chris said no. She better be here when I get back. Kathy got mad, and I laughed.
Now, based on that letter and your conversation that you had with Melissa, was it your impression that Melissa wanted to turn her children over to Kathy Wolfenbarger?
No.
Was it your impression that Melissa wanted to permanently give up her custody of her children to Kathy Wolfenbarger?
No.
Did Melissa ever say that?
No.
And your testimony is that 7 days after that July attack in 1998, Melissa asked for the case to be dismissed on July 29th. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
And is that also the date that your grandchildren went back with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned in 2003 that you made contact with lead detective Alton Calhoun. Was that when Melissa's remains were identified?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything else that happened in 2003 of significance?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
Melissa's father was arrested.
Okay. What was he arrested for?
He was arrested for murder.
All right. And was there a name associated with your husband, Carl Patton? Was there a nickname associated with him?
Yes.
And what is that nickname?
His nickname was Hot Shot.
A nickname, another nickname specifically, a national nickname associated with your husband.
Not that one.
Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And what is that name?
The Flint River murders.
Okay. All right. And so you're familiar with that name?
Yes.
All right. Now, we're talking about 2003 when your husband is arrested and the remains are identified. Are you familiar with Bruce Jordan?
Yes.
All right. Was he the investigator that worked on that case?
Yes.
All right. And did you get an opportunity to meet Bruce Jordan?
Yes, I did.
Where did that meeting take place?
In my dining room.
All right. Was there anyone else present in your dining room when that happened?
I believe the original investigator on the Flint River murders was there.
Okay. Where was Carl Patton at that time?
They had taken him out.
All right. Now, had they arrested you as well at this time?
No, I was not under arrest.
Okay. And at any point, did you make any request
Yes,
after
I
Carl
did.
Patton was arrested?
Yes.
What was that request?
Bruce Jordan wanted me to help him and to talk to him about what Carl had done, and I told him if he wanted my help, that he needed to find my daughter.
Okay.
Because she was missing.
Okay. And so that request in 2003, and then you have the subsequent identification of the remains in that same year. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
How soon, if you can recall, how soon do we have that interview to where we get the identification?
Carl was arrested on the morning of February 23rd, and I was told on March 17th that Melissa had been found and ID'd.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I'm not understanding the question.
Okay. After you found out about the identity of the remains, did you know where the remains were located?
Yes, he told me they were in Atlanta.
Okay. Did you know where in relationship to the Brookline residence those remains were?
I was given the address of Avon Avenue.
Okay. All right. And did you also know that that was the same location where the defendant worked? Were you aware of that?
I did not realize it at that time.
Okay.
It was not until I met with Detective Calhoun and he took me to where she was found.
Okay. Now, going back to the request that you made of the detectives, did that end that investigation for you? Did you have to resolve any criminal cases yourself related to that Carl Patton homicide?
Yes, I did. I had to testify against him and tell them, answer their questions.
Okay. And so you testified against Carl Patton?
Yes, I did.
All right.
The jury must be like,
One moment, Judge.
Sure.
Is defense going to get to the... I think we're about to break for the day. Defense gets to pick up where we leave off here, I guess. I don't know if they're done. She says she testifies against Carl Patton. Carl Patton was the father of the victim. He also happened to be convicted of multiple murders. When asked what Carl's nickname was, she says Hotshot. Well, no, not that nickname. The other one. Oh, yeah. The Flint River Murderer. The other nickname. Oh, my goodness. She agreed to testify against Carl if the detective
we had discussed the timing of today, and I think now's as good a time as any.
Yes, Judge, yes.
Unless you have some... Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so for first thing I'm going to do is you can stay there for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. So in terms of scheduling today, one of you has an appointment at 4 and that y'all need to get to, and we all know how much time it takes to get where you need to go with the shuttle and all those things. So we're going to adjourn a little bit early today. Actually, in just a moment, I'm going to excuse you. I'm going to ask you to return on Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. So a little later. Hopefully, you'll be a little behind the traffic. It won't be too bad. We will start Monday morning, 10:30 a.m., just like regular. Have you done it before? A couple of things to remind you about. As I have told you before, your decision in this case is supposed to be based only on the evidence that you hear in the courtroom. And so that means it would not be proper for you to talk to anybody about this, to allow anyone to talk to you about it. And that includes even amongst yourselves until I instruct you to begin deliberating. It also would not be proper for you to drive by locations, to look locations up, to look people up. And most assuredly, please don't do any independent research. Please try to avoid media in case there is media coverage regarding this case. Because again, your obligation, the oath that you undertook, was to make this decision based on the evidence that you hear in the courtroom. With that, I will thank you again for your time and patience and attention to this process. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. Thank you.
The jury gets to go.
Hang on just one second, sir. The deputy's coming for you. Thank you.
The jury gets to go, having just found out that the mom of the victim testified against the dad of the victim, who was arrested for murder. Flint River murders. That's how they go to lunch. Or not lunch, but that's how they go to start their weekend. Oh, man. I'm sure no media will be covering this. In the unlikely event that media does cover this case, it's like when you're on an airplane. In the unlikely event of a water landing.
Patton, you are excused. You also will need to return tomorrow morning, or Monday morning at 10:30. But you're excused for the day. Thank you.
10:30? Man, they start late. This is a wild case. This is crazy. Remember, next week, Donna Adelson. I've had so many people jump over me. I went to school at an elementary school that was spelled very, very, very similar to that, and it was Adel was how it starts. Same spelling. It was definitely Adel, family name. But I will say Adelson for you, or I'll try anyway. Starts next week, jury selection, so we'll continue this one until it starts.
Any matters from the parties that we need to address before we adjourn for the day?
Not from the state.
Mr. McDermott?
Nothing from the defense.
Okay. Two things I wanted to mention to y'all. One, I still need some jury charges.
You're going to get them. I've made notes. They're very well. There's one or two additions. They're all patterns.
Yes, sir.
You know, the graved out ones that say you don't have to, but you can. We're going to ask you to do it. I've got a couple of questions about theirs. I'd rather talk with them first.
Sure.
And then, it'll take you 5 minutes to incorporate my changes.
Okay.
Unless something happens.
That'll be fine.
Between now and then.
Okay, thank you. The other thing is I have the reason that we'll be beginning on Monday at 10:30 is actually have a calendar scheduled on Monday morning. I don't believe any of you are on it. On Monday or Tuesday?
Actually, is it Tuesday? Is there
So
one?
the big trial calendar call is on Tuesday. But Judge Cornwell is going to cover that for me in another courtroom. He just needs announcements. And if you have any pleas, he will be happy to take them on my behalf. So on Monday, I just wanted to let you know on Monday, we will be starting at 10:30 because I do have that matter. But basically, my intention is the moment, we get to 10:30, we'll just have Ms. Patton retake the stand and we will start again with the jury. When there is that big of a gap in witnesses testifying, I probably will have her sworn again just to make sure. Other than that, I think hopefully everybody have a good weekend and I will see you on Monday at 10:30. Okay? We are adjourned.
Thank you, Judge.
There we go. So we out of here. We're done. We're done for the week. Crazy 2 days. Focus. Yep, that's the time right there. Looks like we're in a smoky bar room with how yellow it is. But, all right. Google searches for Flint River murders are going to skyrocket this weekend. I think it might. Hopefully not from the jury, though. Desert Rose, thanks for the kind words. Welcome here among friends here. This week has been a roller coaster. We've got some crazy trials going on. I am super excited. Let me tell you this. I don't think we can portal there because it doesn't start till late tonight. But I believe Rob from Lawn Lumber is doing a F&F, Friday Night Frenzy, which is just a chance to really dig into some of the crazy things that are happening in the world of true crime and get the perspective of one or two, sometimes more, legal minds in the law tube world. Rob and Ian are the standards on that show, but I know there have been other people occasionally. They've been watching this. I know Ian and Rob have been making some comments about some of the things that happened this week. I cannot wait to hear their take on some of the things that are happening, specifically back here in Fulton County, Georgia, and watching more of the same of what we saw in YSL happen again. And I just want to hear what they have to say. It's going to be great. So if you got some time tonight, I would definitely pop over to Lawn Lumber. If you're not for some reason subscribed, I think you already are. Do subscribe and get notified so that when he goes live, if I'm assuming, I think he is because he's been talking to me a little bit about this as well. I think he's going to be talking about it. Ian was on last night. Ian was talking about, I know he was doing Doug Weinstein's case last night. There's some great coverage of that. Rob does not have a placeholder yet, but we'll keep your ear to the ground. Sometimes he's not able to because of work schedules, but anyway, it's well worth listening to. It is a late night, a late listen, but it'll be good. All right, let's see. Anything else? My weekend, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My weekend consists of painting, and my goal was to start and finish the project this weekend. And then this morning I was talking to my wife and she starts talking about patching, cracking ceiling plaster, because we're in an old antique house, and so there are little cracks in the plaster on the ceiling because it's plaster and lathe. And we Googled how that's done, and that is not a weekend project. That is a longer project. We'll see. I'll see if I can get all the painting done at least. So, Rona, I've only watched one episode of F&F, and it was so good. Oh, they are great. They're a lot of fun. I'm there just for, I don't know, Ian and Rob are both amazing legal minds, and their unique perspectives. Ian's runkleisms will just have you laughing your butt off. It's a lot of fun. Kim, I missed you. Oh, I missed you. You won the internet, Kim. Congratulations. You have it all weekend long. I did have you pinned, and then I was a little late coming back, and I just missed it. But Kim, thanks for being first in chat today. Plaster takes so long. I know. It's terrible. Let's see. Rob is going to go nuts about the I submit to use. That was from the Weinstein case. Clear paintable caulk in cracks. If only it were so easy. I've got cracks with plaster separation from the lathe. So we're talking drywall inserts, patches, remudding, the veneer finish, the whole works. Gosh, like Ian Runkle, he's just a cool dude. We have a sound effect, which I have blanket permission from him to use, which I love.
Because we here in Canada hate you and hope for bad things for you because we hate you.
If anyone knows Ian, he's the nicest guy. So he is not just a hater. That was taken completely out of context, which we have permission to use. I was on the phone. What time does FNF start? Usually around 8 p.m. on Law and Lumber. I'm not sure if Lady Draconis is here. She's one of the mods for him. She might be able to tell us for sure. Time is a construct, as Rob will say. So don't pin him down to a specific time. It's just a general area. Katrina Hetherington, thank you very much for 14 months of support. I appreciate that. Patty B. Oh, I forgot. I need to turn on the points before we end for the day so you guys will be able to see where you were. The mods love this part. Just one second. Points. I'm looking. Okay, there's points and there's slots. Done. Okay. Now we're back. All right. Patty B says, love this channel and chat. What a wild case. Patty, thank you for 7 months of support as well. Would not be the same without you here. I'm glad you could be with us, and I'm glad you're enjoying the trials. And Sandy, you often forget. Oh, Sandy. And Sandy helped us with documents today as well, which we might have to do some digging into over the weekend. Maybe we'll share, especially because Monday we've got a late start. We might dig into some of the documents about this trial that we're following right now in Georgia, now that we've got those. Thank you very much, Sandy. Greeners is not here. Please reset his points, says Camilla. How do you feel about that? Kim's salty about the whole points thing. We'll periodically reset points, and we'll do a clean wipe, and everyone gets to start over occasionally. Give everyone a fair shot. All right. Anything else? I think I covered everything. I think we're done. Right now, I'm just stalling so I don't have to start painting tonight. I think so. All right. Kimar says, don't mind me. I'm salty about the whole points thing. Just trying to rack up a few more here with a super chat. There is an active manhunt in Clark County, Indiana. I was actually listening to this during the lunch break, and let's see. The scanner, usually when there's a manhunt, the scanner goes to what they call tactical channels, and the tactical channels then go encrypted. Let's see if this is it. I think that's it. But it was still live. You were hearing teams, clearing buildings on the police scanner and everything. Oh, somebody's calling in. Hello? Is this Amber? Hello? It's trying to connect. It's going to fail. Sorry. It says connecting. Oh. Hang on. Get connected. Hello, this is Scott. Who's on the phone?
Dr. Bullbutter.
Dr. Bullbutter, how are you doing? Happy Friday to you.
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Scott?
Fabulous. Until I have to start painting. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to say this case that we're watching out of Georgia. There's something I don't get about this cold case. I don't get how they're going to tie this defendant to this actual murder. Because not only can they say that this father did this crime because he's this serial life ender person, but, I hate DV as much as any other person.
It's a despicable crime.
It is awful. I hate it. And I suspect that the defendant probably committed this murder. I suspect he did it. I know I always say guilty. Everybody can yell at me. I always say guilty. But in this case, even if the father didn't do it, okay, he loves his daughter, even if he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy next door could have done it. The milkman could have done it. The dry cleaner could have done it. The I don't know, Santa Claus could have done it, although I doubt Saint Nick would have done it. But
it just puts you on the naughty list. Yeah, this is a whodunit case, and the problem is there are likely people other than the defendant. When you've got the father convicted serial killer, it helps that he's passed away. We can't ask him. We can't get his alibi. We can't do that.
And people can't even remember what they said last week, let alone what they said 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's a problem, and they just have circumstantial evidence. It's strong. It's good circumstantial evidence. We've got a defendant who was in a DV situation with the victim, ongoing proceedings, and then the victim disappears. We have discovery of the body in the area where he worked, right next door, with the dismemberment involving a power tool. And we have, ways to tie this victim, this defendant, to the use of a power tool from his work. So there's some stuff that a jury could put together, but I don't know if they can get past that reasonable doubt
with this number of years, Scott. They need his DNA or something, and if they had that, they would have opened with something that powerful. They really would have.
Yeah. Well, the DNA,
and they didn't.
We're going to hear about this because DNA does play a part in this case, but DNA plays a part in the case because they had body parts that they knew belonged to each other. So they knew they had one body that had been severed. They did not have the torso. We found out they never recovered that, but they didn't know who it was. And they didn't know that until the dad was incarcerated and they take his DNA, right? And then they find the match. And so the dad going to prison brings about the whole discovery of the daughter. And that doesn't mean the dad didn't do it. Doesn't mean the dad did do it. It just, I don't know how they can just say, forget about the dad who was convicted for killing other people, including family members. Just don't think about that and blame this guy.
Anybody could have done it though, Scott. Like, I mean, I understand that the defendant had a motive to make this woman disappear. I get that. But first of all, they don't need to prove motive. Like, motive isn't part of what they need to prove. But beyond motive, I don't know that they have anything. I'd love to see him go away for it because I suspect he did it, but suspect isn't strong enough to put him away. I mean, I'd like to string him up for the DV alone, but you can't do that.
There may be more evidence coming in. Obviously, we're early in the case. There may be more things that come in. There's obviously behavior, some, the what they call it, the guilty conscience, the knowledge of guilt, or where the actions trying to avoid getting caught indicates they knew they had done something wrong. Hiding when the police show up at the house, that could count against him a little bit.
I just think it's bizarre. That they brought this case so late, and we've got witnesses that can't even remember going over things with the prosecutor last week.
It's terrible.
I've got a headache just thinking about it.
It's probably got to be one of the hardest cases to prosecute when you're literally trying to walk witnesses who don't recall what happened through testimony, and the minefield of them mixing up. You've had 20 years to conflate these memories with something you've heard about or read or something else, or dreamt up, and it's a nightmare prosecution case. And unfortunately, we don't have, I believe, the sharpest tool in the shed running the show on the prosecution side, and that's not helping.
This is Fulton County. it's a problem. I don't know. I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's bad. It's really, really bad.
It's bad. It's terrible. Dr. Bullbutter, it's great talking to you about this case. I can't wait to see how this unfolds, if it ever gets to, a jury deliberating. There are many ways this can not end up that far, and I think some of those ways might be at the hands of the prosecutors.
What's going on in Georgia with this dismemberment stuff? Oh my.
I think honestly this is just circumstantial that we just happen to have two back-to-back cases, realize they are 20 years apart.
It better be, because wow.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, Scott.
Dr. Bullbutter, good talking to you. We'll see you. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye.
All right. With that, before we delve into the territory that shall not be named, let's just go ahead and wrap up for the day. The rest body cam footage has been my favorite thing so far, says Red Pen. Red, thanks. You're doing a fabulous job as a mod. I'm so glad you agreed to take on this slave labor task. I will remind you guys, I support my mods. They are fantastic. They are doing the very best they can. They love true crime. They love this community, and in the moment they're making split-second decisions, which I back. I back them up. If they make a mistake and there's a problem, reach out to me. Odds are I'm probably going to undo whatever they did, not because I don't agree with what the mods did, but because I believe in second chances for people. So if you're upset with the mods for any reason, don't take it out on them. I do have a very strict rule that you don't talk bad about the mods in chat. You can do it at home. You put it in the channel here, and I will ban you in a heartbeat. Okay, they work too hard to take flack from anybody, and the pay is zero. So. Thank you, amazing mods. If you have any questions, the burner phone is just for that reason. I do, in fact, answer it, even on the weekends. Unless I'm in church or something, I'm going to take your call. Love to talk to you if you have any concerns. I get calls from people about all sorts of things. So you're welcome to do that. It literally is direct access to me. So the mods are wonderful, and I owe much of what this channel is to some great moderators and an amazing community who really just welcomes people with open arms. So we realize that we have a lot of new people here today. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again Monday morning, bright and early. Might do some document research. We'll see you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye. See, I talked too long and I wasn't ready.